everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. In addition to the tragic efforts by war criminal Putin to level and destroy the beautiful Ukrainian city of Lviv, and thereby continuing his crimes against humanity, for which he must be prosecuted at some point, the other big event today is the 2-hour phone call this morning between Presidents Biden and Xi. The big question there is whether China will resupply economic and wartime materials to Russia. By all reports, Russia is experiencing major shortages. Their economy is in shambles, their stock market closed, their currency worthless. While they're still making some money from oil and gas sales, increasingly the private sector in both the U.S. and Europe is self-sanctioning, adding to the damage to Russia. And by the way, I still think Holman Jenkins' idea of escrowing cash from Russian energy sales to Europe is a very good idea. If Putin never makes peace, he can get his money back, but not now. However, in terms of the Biden-Xi Zoom, we don't really know what Xi said about providing more material support. On deep background, a senior administration official, the president described the implications if China provides material to Russia, but there were no details, none whatsoever. Last week, NSC advisor Jake Sullivan spent 7 hours with his Chinese counterpart and threatened severe consequences if China helped Russia, but there's never any details there either. So we're not really much better informed today about this than we were yesterday, or for that matter, a week ago, or for that matter, a month ago. I do, however, tonight want to take a moment to front-run a tremendous Wall Street Journal column by Professor Walter Russell Mead. Walter will be here in a short while on this evening's show. His piece today is just tremendous, and the thrust of it is make Putin pay. Don't let him off the hook. Make sure he's paying a heavy price for his miscalculations in Ukraine. Walter Russell Mead says the past 2 weeks have changed the world. Mr. Putin's Russia turns out to be weaker and Ukraine stronger. And now, Mead argues the administration must make opposition to Putin the core of its global foreign policy. Put climate change aside, deny Russia any revenue from nuclear trade with Iran, toughen the oil and gas sanctions, and then Mead paraphrases the Prussian general Karl von Clausewitz of the early 19th century, who said, the key to success is to pursue a retreating enemy. That's when it's possible to inflict the greatest damage on his forces. I love that. As I said earlier, Professor Mead will be joining me in a couple of moments to elaborate on his superb insights. I also want to note the importance of today's Biden-Xi talks relates to Taiwan, where Biden has really been ambiguous. Now, at one point, the president said we would send, or he would send in Marines and the Navy to defend Taiwan. But then his little minion weenies walked it back. Taiwan is so important to U.S. security. Losing Taiwan to China would open the door to great vulnerabilities, both in the north to Japan and South Korea, and in the south to the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, India, and of course, New Zealand and Australia. Of course, business terms, Taiwan is one of the semiconductor centers of the world. Let us hope that Mr. Biden was tougher on Taiwan with Xi than even on the Ukraine. But it's hard to say. We just don't know. You know, President Biden's been the kind of president, he's always too little too late. As my friend Ambassador Robert O'Brien said, he's like a trader who's always chasing the market and never catches the best bid. Or, I'll suggest, maybe Mr. Biden will read von Clausewitz about the hot pursuit of a retreating enemy. Sure is better advice than all those lefties in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.